Top five, top five, top five.
So then topical back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. He's Nate. Today we're doing top 5 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. How do our top 5s work?
Basically, what we'll do is one of us will start off. We'll do 5 and 4. The other person will do 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, and then we'll trade off our number ones. We also have something called
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
We also have something called the Zemeckis rule. Robert Zemeckis, Back to the Future, time travel. If one of us has a movie on their list that the other person hears and they have it 2 spots or more higher on their list, they will call Zemeckis, and it just means we will save talking about that movie until we get to it to the person who has it higher on their list.
All right. So when it comes to Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's one of my favorite actors.
I'm aware.
So I cannot wait to do this list of top 5 Schwarzenegger performances. And I'm going to kick that off with The Running Man.
Okay.
A lesser known Schwarzenegger film. Also a lesser known Stephen King book. You have him in this like dystopian future. And he gets in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Because he's worked for the SWAT team. And now for his freedom, he has to fight in a game show where it's kill to be killed. And you have very bad, like, Mortal Kombat didn't want these characters. As,
Nice.
Like, there's a Sub-Zero, and he makes ice puns. You would like him. You like ice. But, yeah, this film's just, like, the weirdness of it and everything. Arnold fits right in perfectly. I could have had a bunch of movies at my number 5. True Lies, Total Recall, a Kindergarten Cop, a ton of them. But this was the one because, I don't know, I watched it. It was probably one of my first Schwarzenegger films. So it has that meaning to me. My number 4, it is going to be Conan the Barbarian. You have him in 2 movies, and he's the same character in both the movies. You get the character arc in the first one, and he's the same person in the second one. Dude's just an animal. Like, he went from, like, saying, I forget the quote. I'm going to add a clip in right now.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
He went from saying stuff like that to falling in love and fighting over females and whatnot, but he's still a badass. He's knocking out horses. There's not much to this performance, but the aura of badassness is the reason why it's my number 4.
To be clear, since we didn't super preface this ahead of time, these are just our favorite Arnold performances, not necessarily the objectively the best.
Yeah.
Which is why, at number 5, speaking of ice puns, my favorite, 5th favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger performance is going to be him as Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin. It's a terrible movie, and I have no problem admitting that, but it is such a guilty pleasure. And what makes it such a guilty pleasure for me is Arnold being absolutely ridiculous in this role. I'm pretty sure he's the only actor in the whole movie that is trying to take his role seriously.
I don't know. Uma Thurman's pretty serious.
That's fair.
The puns, man. Like, they're so terrible, but they get me every time. I saw it when I was a kid, so it just stuck with me. Number 4 for me is going to be Kindergarten Cop. Nice. Again, so my favorite Arnold is, like, the most outlandish that he can possibly be. And watching him just scream at a bunch of kindergartners about whether it is or is not a tumor is fucking great, man. I love it.
My number 3, you should definitely go see. It's outlandish. I would say it's the most outlandish Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, or second most outlandish Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and it is Commando.
Oh, nice.
The level of cheese with his one-liners is like it's off the charts. He has the best one-liners in this movie. The action's over the top is ridiculous, and that's why I love it. This is why you should watch it. The opening scene is like the title getting to the title card. He cuts down a tree, carries it through the woods shirtless, and then gets his daughter and pets a deer. And the deer doesn't run away because it knows it's Arnold Schwarzenegger and it sees the muscles.
Wow.
My number 2 is going to be, so this is performances, so I'm including both of his roles since he is the same character in The Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The rest of them don't exist to me.
That's cheating.
So,
I watched this perfectly. I watched the first one as a kid, knowing he's a bad guy and terrifying, Michael Myers-esque. And then without knowing, watching the second one and being scared, like, kid, get out the fucking way. He's going to kill you. And he's like, come with me if you want to live. And he's like, he's a good guy now. He got reprogrammed. So you get somewhat of a character arc with Schwarzenegger's character, and then just him with the kid in the second one, you get so much depth, and he can be like a father figure in this role, but he can also be terrifying like Michael Myers in this role as well. Nice. So like you get both opposite ends of the spectrum with this role. So to me, it's incredible.
Nice.
It's probably his best role. Not my favorite, but his best.
Agreed. So Terminator and Terminator 2 are my 2 and 1, actually, in that order. So Terminator's number 2, T2 is number 1. I do still disagree that this is the same.
You don't have a number 3?
I do, but since we're talking about your movies already,
True.
then that's how we do these lists.
Oh, you're right.
I disagree that he's the same character because there is a huge change. And, like, yeah, it's technically the same, like, robot, android, Terminator thing, but he is incredibly different. So to be playing just, like, the absolute undisputed villain of the film that he does in Terminator, which he does phenomenally, to going to, like, something that actually seems to have some sort of semblance of feeling is a huge change, and it's a different role in my eyes personally, which is why I separated them. But T2, arguably the best action movie of all time.
Facts.
And it is because of his role in that film. So the way that he is so protective of John Connor, I mean, the thumbs up, like him like adapting and figuring out these situations to fight the T-1000 and all that kind of stuff. It's great.
To me, it feels more like a character arc because it is Schwarzenegger.
But it's not a character arc because he just got reprogrammed. It's not an arc.
He can't help that.
It's just a change in character.
Arc.
My number 3 is The Predator.
Zemeckis.
I figured it would be.
But that's my number 1, so we go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
So Predator is my favorite because he has so much to work off of.
Yeah.
Just from like the cast of characters he's friends with and his army group, and then he gets to work off of Apollo Creed himself, Carl Weathers, and they do the whole handshake. As the machismos blew the roof off of that place.
In toxic levels.
They had like make 3 sets because the machismos just kept blowing the roof off the place. But then
they're like outside the whole time.
Not in the beginning. They're in a helicopter, some of it. But he gets to play with these cast of characters, and it just makes him better for it.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan is great.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan with Pippin, even better. So it's kind of like that. And then the one-liners and the action and everything takes it to a whole new level. But then, once you're at that level, you get to the boss level because he gets to play off a fucking Predator. An alien, and fight that, and just the one-liners he has with that and how he works and plays off of that, it elevates him to a whole new level of Schwarzenegger for me, and that is why it's my favorite Schwarzenegger performance, because it just keeps getting better and better and better, and I keep loving the performance for different reasons.
Yeah. So personally for me, obviously, I mean, I love Arnold, don't get me wrong, but you obviously have stronger feelings towards him than I do.
No pun intended.
1, 2, and 3. So my 1, 2, and 3 were T2, Terminator, and Predator. I could have interchanged any of those because to me, they're all just quintessential Arnold. And I just happen to like the Terminator movies a little bit more than I like Predator. But he's still phenomenal in it. It's, again, for me, Arnold, for a lot of people, it's just all about the one-liners, man. Like, he could have a whole movie where his only dialogue is just popping out some one-liners, and I would be like, this is the best thing ever. So
next week's list, top 5
getting
Schwarzenegger one-liners.
Getting to watch him, like, outsmart and, like, the chess game between him and Predator is absolutely phenomenal. He sells it really, really well, especially for an actor that a lot of people just perceive as, like, this muscle-bound idiot, like, more of the Conan type. So getting to watch Arnold use his brain to solve a problem and figure it out, I love that. And then, I mean, he's one ugly motherfucker.
Just like you. Tell us if you agree with me down in the comment section below. Like,
No,
share,
nobody.
and subscribe.
I'm fucking sexy.